Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the weekly summit of NerdTube and No Budget Productions. I am Cousin Cheeto of the NerdTube, and we have joined with us today our representative from NerdTube, Zam, and a representative from No Budget Productions, Vance.
I just peed my pants.
May the force be with you.
Thank you, Daniel Vance and Revolution Media, for being in the comments. Starting off really with a bang today, we're going to be talking about the Multiverse of Madness trailer, the Peacemaker finale, if Vance has seen it, and Kevin Feige.
But I'm all for talking. Hey, you're not going to spoil me. I mean, I'm good because I got to catch up. So it's probably what I'm going to be doing tonight. So it's all good.
Me and Zam have already talked about it. So unless somebody else joins us, actually 4 of us talked about it yesterday. So it's okay.
Got it.
So I'll just take it out of the title afterward, and we'll just pretend it was never there. But we can talk about Kevin Feige. I think came out today and said that Avengers Endgame was the last Avengers movie. Like that.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring. I had the article. I'm gonna bring it back up for.
Right, we need to go in the street, get our picket picket fences, get our pitchforks even, and our torches, and you can't be doing that.
Since when does Kevin Feige know? Since when does Kevin Feige know what he's talking about? I call malarkey.
Even the best, and people who do well end up fucking up, and he has fucked up, in my opinion. When you just told me that, I'm thinking sacrilege right now. I'm already thinking I need to go over there and have a word with him.
I honestly, I am okay with this. I wouldn't mind there being a different style of Avenger movies, like West Coast Avengers or Young Avengers. But I mean, I think he just, we'll get into the article. We can start off with this. Let's start off with this topic because this is the banger right here. I'm looking for the article again that I saw.
Bang me, baby.
Right here, baby. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in a little bit on this bad boy here, so we kind of read it a little bit more, get a little bit bigger. My girlfriend wishes that too. Okay. So here we go. Kevin Feige calls Avengers Endgame the final Avengers movie. Now, I haven't read this article completely, but I did read enough to realize that Kevin Feige did say this. Kevin Feige is using no uncertain terms about the Avengers movie franchise stands, or where it stands. Feige makes an appearance on the latest episode of Marvel Studios' assembled series on Disney Plus, which focuses on the Eternals. During his segment, Feige pontificated. I don't know if we should call the police in that, or Sean Hannity on that one. On the Marvel Cinematic Saga now stands following the events of Avengers Endgame. That is why it was time for the Eternal story. It was during the same speech where he refers to Endgame as the final Avengers movie. Here's the full quote. Marvel Studios and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now past their 10th anniversary and within the release of the final Avengers movie. We finally completed a 22-movie Infinity Saga. So he did. I mean, okay, so we could have a little bit of leeway here. Maybe he is meaning that it's not like a super. We'll get back to the comments here in a second. It's not like he's not saying we are not making any more Avengers movies, but
sounds like it though.
Yeah, it does sound like it. So, and I mean, Kevin Feige, I say in Feige we trust, and honestly, I'm not that upset about the fact that we wouldn't be getting another Avengers movie in the vein of the Avengers as we know them. Like Young Avengers or West Coast Avengers or a Great Lakes.
Yeah, but aren't those theoretically Avengers movies? I mean, how is that going? I mean, how is that possible if Feige's saying we're not getting any movies?
Hold on. The article continues. Where do we go from here? Where do we start? what we really wanted to do was two things: start fresh with whole new characters, new storylines, but also go back to some of the deepest, richest mythology in the Marvel comics.
Look, I'm all fine. I'm all fine with like doing movies about certain characters, but we want that big, massive fucking crossover team up now and again, to get our fucking dicks hard, and we are not getting that shit.
I think we will. I just think it's going to be in the form of something else. I mean, I am kind of I would like to see like an Avengers versus X-Men eventually.
Versus.
Oh yeah, like the comic book.
Even then, you got to sow the seeds for that. You can't just say, okay, well, this is the Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh, I know. No. I'm not saying I want.
You got to build that shit up in other films.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying I want that next. I'm saying that I want that eventually. And I mean the Secret Wars, which I mean I don't know if they're just going to call it Secret Wars or if they're going to call it Avengers: The Secret Wars. I don't know. Okay, so back when Marvel was promoting its 2021 movies, Feige did state that Avengers 5 was not something the studio was rushing, just sustain the brand name. I think we want there to be a reasonable amount of time from Endgame to the start a new saga, which is already underway and already started. Feige revealed the Collider last summer, and then you need time. As you did in Phase 1 to build the saga before starting the beginning, bring everyone together. So they still plan on bringing people together. It seems like it's just I don't know if we're gonna get an Avengers 5 per se. So I know everyone's all gutted about that, but I mean,
I think it's a lack of ideas and I feel like I think maybe they feel they can't repeat what they did previously, which was very difficult to repeat. I can understand that, but you created this fucking monster. Now continue with it. You know what I mean? You could have easily ended it. Well, you could have easily ended the MCU after Endgame. You could have bookended it there and then, and people would have been satisfied, in my opinion. But they wanted to give us more, and now I'm sure they're finding it hard to continue. Plus, we don't have as many original actors anymore. Tony Stark is dead. Black Widow's dead. Vision's dead, theoretically. Steve Rogers is retired. So to capture that magic again is very difficult. And so, but then again, I mean, look, they fucked up with Eternals. So, I mean, initially, I was okay with Eternals, but now I look back at it, I don't think it's a good movie. You have a massive group of individuals without us knowing about them individually, and we just already teamed up together. It was destined for disaster, in my opinion. So.
The thing that I'm okay with, you have first off, they're talking about the multiverse and they're doing that shit. We just got like all these Spider-Man. You've got the Spider-Man villains. We know that they're going to be doing, we just heard Professor X. We don't know what they're going to be doing with X-Men stuff, Fantastic Four. I don't know if it's a matter of they're not going to give us Avengers stuff. I think it's a matter of they have so many movies. Is it going to be something they're going to necessarily put on the plate? Or is it something they're just going to be like, you know what, throw it down the field. We'll come back to it later on. Because, I mean, Avengers is a brand that people recognize. It's just like, who would have thought we'd get, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? At some point, it's going to come back up. It's an established brand. Right now, it may be something that they're not focused on that because you have X-Men, you have Fantastic Four, you have She-Hulk, you have Daredevil, you have all this stuff that they're retreading. Do we need to go back to Avengers? Fuck no, you don't. You have Young Avengers because you have all these new, young heroes stepping up into the mentor role, that they have to reestablish, with fresh faces. So they're not. There's no real room for Avengers stuff. You have these new series that you just don't have room for Avengers. Like, where would you put it? It's kind of like when Gwyneth Paltrow was interviewed, and they're like, "Well, what's next for Miss Potts or Pepper Potts or whatever her name is in Iron Man?" Potts. Yeah, when they asked her, "So what's next for?" and she's like, "Nothing," and everyone, like, for a moment, everyone lost their shit. It's like, what do you expect her to say? Like, there's no Iron Man movies coming out. there's no real place to put her. I mean, it's not
She's
that
a
she's
mum.
pissed. Huh?
She's like a single mum now. Like
Yeah,
she's not there to
like
save the world.
what do you expect her to say? It's not that she has beef with the studio. It's just for her character, there's really nothing left. So for me, I'm not mad at Kevin Feige. It's just if you were you just got done doing all the Avengers stuff, and now you've got Fantastic Four, you got X-Men, you've got possibly all these other stuff, X-Force, Deadpool, like you've got so many other things to worry about. Avengers isn't on your plate right now. So I'm my thing is great. Give us more stuff to care about. Not what about that one
I still
thing?
want crossover, Vance. I still want I still want some crossover.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be there. As for a movie, I don't. It's not needed. It's kind of like we see these characters pop up from time to time. It's always referenced in the background. Something's always referenced. I'm sure they'll be there in some capacity. They never really let us down. At least even a bad movie is always still enjoyable to me. Even Eternals. I as much as I wasn't, I'm not going to go out and buy an Eternals T-shirt, but I didn't hate the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, they haven't let me down. The only one I didn't watch was Captain Marvel, and that's just because I hate the actress. Every other movie, I enjoyed. So
Captain Marvel's good, man. I recommend it. I had a good time with it. It's not too bad.
That's what people. People say. I can't get over my. I'm biased. I can't stand the actress, and her interviews when she was who's the guy who plays Rhodes, War Machine.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, Don Cheadle. Yeah, when she did an interview, and Don Cheadle was on one side, and Chris Hemsworth was on the other, and like both guys had great chemistry with each other, but she felt like such a third wheel, and she had no chemistry with the interviewer. She had no chemistry with them, and I was just like, God, this is painful. Like all of her answers sucked, and she didn't know the material. She didn't know them. And it was just like, oh, stop answering the question. So like, to me, it's like she never seems like she really cares about the character. And like, she never makes me want to engage with her movie. So for me, I've never really wanted to go watch it, but I've always heard from everybody, it's a great movie. So I'm ignorantly biased on that. So I don't know.
Okay. I do recommend it for the sake of just ticking off a box,
I mean, it also is pretty important to the Tesseract story,
right?
Like, I mean, not to spoil anything, but the Tesseract is involved. But I mean, it is important to that part of the saga. So it kind of explains a little bit with that,
right?
Okay, so
and the de-aging technology when it's really at its best. I mean, at the beginning of its best, starts really with this film, and with like Samuel L. Jackson, the best special effects are the ones where you don't realize you're watching special effects, and you don't you very early on you forget that Samuel L. Jackson's de-aged, as well as Coulson as well, who's in it. So
yeah, I can really see that when Samuel L. Jackson's running, but you're right. Other than that, I can't tell.
Yeah, because of the physicality, because he's an old man. But yeah, I know what you mean.
So Revolution Media says the sky is the limit, so they don't need to focus on Avengers or the core group per se. We got the multiverse and new characters or spins on the classic. Besides the movies, we have all the TV series. And then he also says, I'm probably looking forward to Loki, Doctor Strange 2, and any X-Men.
I mean, regarding Loki, I would like to see how they can tie in the TVA stuff, because the way Loki ended, you'd really expect like big things to be going on from the aftermath of Loki, and I've really yet to see that. Has the Doctor Strange 2 shit got anything to do with that? I want to know. It's very important to me.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I as I said earlier, I mean, I'm okay with them changing the formula. I think it's time. I mean, I do agree we still need that big superhero crossover, but here's my thing. I don't want the next Avengers movie to be everybody again. I'm okay with like 6 Avengers showing up for a specific threat. You know what I mean? Like I'm
I agree. We don't need everybody in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, like I don't need the Guardians showing back up. I don't need the Eternals showing up. I don't need like I'm okay with there being different facets of the MCU, like the the cosmic, the mystical, and the like ground level, like the Earth based stuff. I'm okay with the Eternals being way over here, and the Guardians over there, and Captain Marvel over here, and I'm okay with Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch and all them being over here on the mystical side of things, and I'm okay with the ground level, which is like your Hawkeyes, your Thunderbolts, your Captain Americas and stuff like that. I'm okay with those different facets, and yeah, I eventually, and you'll see some cohabitation between the like Doctor Strange crossing over with the Avengers at some point, or like one of the Earth-based people showing up in guard like Thor, and Thor's kind of a in between the cosmic and the Earth-based, but that's kind of why I'm like, I don't mind them showing up in other people's movies, but I agree. It's kind of, you don't need everybody showing up in the next Avengers movie.
It waters down the effect of when it actually happens,
Mm-hmm. It does,
I mean,
because that's why I'm saying, like, I would love for them to scale it back next time. I'd love for the next Avengers or whatever Avengers style movie we're going to get to be like 6 people, 7 people. You don't have to have and mix it up a bit. I mean, you have Doctor Strange, you have Thor, you have Captain Marvel, you have Spider-Man, you have like all these different facets from all these different areas of all these different things. You can mix and match and kind of make an interesting chemistry go on there. So I really feel like it would be great for them to just kind of mix it up a little bit. You've got whatever's going to happen with Black Panther, because we don't know what's going to happen there now with the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman. We don't know who's picking up the mantle. We don't know who's doing what. I mean, there have been rumors flying that Killmonger's coming back somehow, multiverse maybe, and he's going to be Black Panther. Then some other people say that M'Baku is going to be the new Black Panther. Or Shuri is going to be the new Black Panther. It's all up in the air, and I really do hope that they kind of mix it up a bit. I don't want it to be this big stagnant, like, oh, everybody's got to come together again. Hey, Doctor Strange is bringing everybody here. But I also don't want the next Avengers movie to be Kang focused. I want it to be a piece, just like Avengers 1 was. I want it to be a piece of the overall puzzle of the multiverse saga. So, I don't know. I know.
No, I think as well. Like Feige doesn't want to disappoint people who are doing a lot of theorizing, because everyone's going on about Galactus as the new next level big super bad at the end of a saga, like Thanos was, and maybe
he's not an end of the saga type bad guy though. Honest and truly, he's like a major threat, and he could be a focus of a movie. But he's not going to be a Thanos or a Kang the Conqueror. He just, there's not enough there. He comes to eat the planet. Whoa! You got to deal with the Silver Surfer. We've done this already with Rise of Silver Surfer. I enjoyed that
but
movie.
That's bollocks.
Exactly. I enjoyed the movie, but no one else liked it. So it's like, like I would honestly be okay with, in the next Avengers movie, we get Galactus. And that kind of crosses over with like Captain Marvel and a little, the little bit of the cosmic stuff.
I want my villains to be victorious. Like, we get Kang, we get maybe Galactus, we get Doctor Doom.
Yeah, but
we get these guys. Yeah, and we let them win.
But we can't have him victorious. We can't have the next villain victorious, because if we have the next villain victorious, it's like, okay, so Infinity War, Thanos won. Endgame, then
There's only been 2 movies. There's only 2 movies where the villains won, and that's Captain America: Civil War and fucking Infinity War. Other than that, the villains always lost, and they always die as well. I want to see, I don't want to see a film about the Fantastic Four focused on the Fantastic Four. I want to see a film about Doctor Doom. And maybe the Fantastic Four are like in the background, like when you watch Assault on Arkham, you see Batman in the background. He's only hearsay, and you might see a little clip of him here or there. That's how I want to see it. I really want to focus. These bad guys are such fantastic characters, with a lot of depth, and we need to get more involved with them, in my opinion, if they're not gonna go down the Avengers route.
And sure. I agree. I agree. I don't disagree with you on that. My big fan. One second, B man. My big like fan cat or my fan storytelling is, the Fantastic Four. Like Galactus comes to Earth. The Avengers fight Galactus. I know he's a Fantastic Four villain, but the Avengers fight him. But then with all the cosmic energies and everything like that, the Fantastic Four is formed. Like they get their powers based on like battles with the Silver Surfer and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of cosmic energy, and the Fantastic Four was, got their powers from cosmic energy. So I always felt like that was a good way of explaining them into existence. Plus, you get Avengers. Plus, you get the Fantastic Four's origin in an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, V-Man. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing the origin because it's like they've done it piss poor twice. And it's kind of one of those things where like just have them established already in that world, kind of like with Peter Parker. Like he was already there. We didn't, we already know their origins, especially at this point. And those that don't, have them go fucking pick up a comic book or watch one of the many animated series. Like, just have them already be established. Go ahead.
No, but I feel like that the origin of the Fantastic Four here would progress the narrative. Not like we don't need another origin story as in like we take time in a Fantastic Four movie to do their origin story. I'm saying like in the Avengers movie, a result of stuff that's going on in the Avengers movie.
Unless it's like, oh shit, cosmic rays, that's fucked up. Oh, got powers. Okay. And then they go on, like, unless it's that, like, exactly like that. And I want Zam to voice it. Like, he can be the bystander that's like, oh, it's fucked up. And that's it.
Well, I look at it like this. With the Multiverse of Madness, you can just pull these guys already out of the fucking multiverse, ready to go.
See, they did that in No Way Home. I don't want them to keep doing that, though. Like, I feel like that's, especially with a lot of these actors, they've been aging. Like, I mean, I get it. They did it with Bully Maguire.
But I'm not saying necessarily get people who've done it before. I mean, you can't get fucking Chris Evans to fucking play Human Torch again, can you? I'm just saying, just get these guys who are already, just get the characters already established and have whatever actor fill in the void.
Okay. I mean, I agree to disagree. Oh boy, we got some VOM red action.
I'm still here. I'm just.
What is that? Porn?
No, it's probably like some kind of porn or something. Who knows? They're gonna get us followers. Is what they're gonna do. You want subscribers? Click here.
There you go.
Okay.
I just want to actually add something as we're talking about. Sorry, I just need to have a sip of my drink here. As we're talking about Tobey Maguire.
Oh God.
I saw. Sorry, not Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland. I saw Uncharted the other day, and it's getting very mixed reviews. Now I'm on the side of saying it was all right. It's not the greatest thing you'll ever see in your entire life. Mark Wahlberg, he's still very, hey man, what's going on, man? All that sort of shit, that's what. That
was almost as good as your impression earlier when you were like the penguin impression that I thought. I loved it. Go ahead though.
But and it's weird in a way because I always thought Tom Holland was miscast as Nathan Drake, but boy, is Mark Wahlberg miscast as Sully. As Victor Sullivan. He really is. Have you guys, by the way, ever played the Uncharted games?
Oh, I've played all of them. I played all of them, beat all of them.
And yourself, V-Man? Oh, I recommend it. You'll have a good time.
They're good. They're like modern day Indiana Jones. Like,
yeah.
Is it for the PS2?
No. Earliest you can get it is PS3.
And even then, there's only 3 of them.
I don't think it's on the Wii.
Maybe in the future. I don't know. Have a look at the Wii regarding the Wii. You might be able to get a couple of them on there. But they're such great games. I mean, the funny thing is that the games themselves are movies. So to actually make a movie without the gameplay is a bit weird. But the games are great films in their own right. And the film is okay. It's not the best thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. But it is splitting opinion. A lot of purists are not happy with the game, and I say with the film, and I can totally understand where they're coming from. I look at it like this: is it enjoyable? Well, for me, yes, it was. Did it harken back to movies like Indiana Jones to a degree? Great. You got rummaging through catacombs, finding these clues and stuff like that, and deciphering what everything is, and putting the pieces together. Do we have amazing, crazy action set pieces? Yes, you do. Really fucked up ones. Some people might scratch their heads over them. All of these things, but it's not everyone's cup of tea for some reason. I thought it would be. After watching it, I liked it, but once I saw the reviews of it, not everyone did. So it's neither here or there. I do recommend it personally, and I will be interested to see what your opinions are. But yeah, they did miscast Mark Wahlberg as Sullivan. They needed to get somebody like Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. He would have been a good Sullivan. Yeah,
and I don't know.
And Nathan Fillion.
Tom Holland, yeah. I don't know. I just can't do Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
It's funny in a way because he's Tom Holland, in a way like they don't want him doing like Nathan Drake kills people in the Uncharted games. There's no ifs or buts. He kills people, bad guys, people who deserve it. But they don't really want Tom Holland doing that.
We're talking about Uncharted, JD.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm trying. I'm already starting to spoil a little bit here. I don't want to give too much away, but I think anyone who's played the games, it's worth having your opinion because apparently a lot of people who play the games don't like the film. I've played all 5 games, and I don't mind the film. It's okay. You just accept it for what it is. It's a popcorn flick. Yeah.
Well, speaking of games and movies, what do you guys think about that Super Mario Brothers movie that's coming out?
Well, it can only get better than what we had with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo 30 years ago.
What? That was a classic. That was awesome.
A classic is Street Fighter. I mean, there's a film which is shit, but it's so shit that it's good. But
yeah.
problem with like when you think of Super Mario, you think of very lush and vibrant landscapes, and this was like in some sort of like Blade Runner dystopia.
Yeah, yeah.
And
not the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah,
like bloody Dennis Hopper as Bowser. You talk about miscast. There's a miscast right there, and oh god, honestly, I've never been so disappointed. Like it's the first of the video game movies, and I was very disappointed. Left on the cliffhanger, which will never get resolved. Rest in peace, Bob Hoskins. He was a decent Mario, in my opinion.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he was a decent Mario, but just the film was shit.
Mario, and Mario Luigi Mario.
The problem is you had things like Big Berta. Which it's like, why did you cast this lady? Like, what does that have to do with the black woman Birdo from? Yeah, or like the Goombas, which is like, what does that have to do with like Goombas in the game or the short little mushroom guys you jump on, boom, there you go. What does that have to do with these tall things with the weird fucked up head? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, I mean, there were things in the movie that were in title only. What they were in reference to the game. So it's like, to me, it's like, man, this is like, that was my first movie was Masters of the Universe, which we saw in drive-through. And I remember my dad made a pitcher, like it was like one of these pitchers of iced tea. We weren't allowed to go to the fucking concession stand, and it made a big fucking pot of popcorn, which I was like, oh, this is ghetto as shit, but whatever. Fuck it. We watched it for my birthday, but we went. And I was disappointed. I was like, this is not like the cartoon at all. Man, this sucks. But the next movie I got to go see. What's that now?
It's set on Earth, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the next movie I got to go see, which I was very excited about, was Super Mario Brothers. And I was like, yes. And god damn it, this was disappointing too. And I'm like, do movies just in general suck when you go see them? Like, am I the curse? Because like 2 movies that I got to go see in person fucking sucked. And I was like, what the shit is this? It was just terrible. Because like everything, like when you stare away from the source material, it's terrible, you know. And I never understood that. It's like, I mean, Yoshi was close. At least he was a dinosaur. But I mean, that's laughable. And again, I never understood. It's like, you have Pixar. How are you not making a Mario movie? You know, you had the great animated series from back in the day, but you can't make a movie with Mario. But you're right. Bob Hoskins was a great cast for Mario, and I don't think John Leguizamo did a bad job as Luigi. I just think the script was shitty. You know,
That was the film
fucking parallel universe.
That was the film that brought him to the mainstream, wasn't it? Funnily enough.
No, the Pest was. The Pest was. Wasn't it the Pest?
I don't know.
Or did Mario come out before Pest? No,
I'm not sure.
Pest was good. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was. No, oh, it was a good movie. I liked it.
Okay, so
good morning, wherever you are. Oh, sorry, my bad. But
Zam's watching himself again. I get.
Sorry. I once again, like John Leguizamo, he's a stand-up comedian who's become an actor, and he's done a lot of crazy stuff. Have you guys seen Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar? That's the film with him, Wesley Snipes, and Patrick Swayze playing drag queens. And yeah, no, yeah, it just kind of shows their range a little bit. But yeah, it was a good movie, and it just
more power to him.
Oh, it was a great film. You know, they play a bunch of drag queens. They're going to see Julie. You know, do you know who Julie Newmar is?
Mm-hmm.
She's the original Catwoman, and they're going to see a show based on her or something like that. And then they get, they're like I said, they're from the city or some sort of liberal part of the world, and they end up getting stuck. Their car breaks down in some redneck town, and people don't realize that they're men dressed up as women. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, it's an interesting film, you know, and it showed the range of these actors as well. You know, you think of Wesley Snipes as an action hero, there he is in fucking drag, you know. But yeah,
but I don't see Bruce Willis in drag, so he's not an adequate action hero in my opinion.
Unless you hit that line, I mean, that's the bar we've set. So once you do that, I mean, Tom Hanks, I would say, is now an action hero because if you remember the show Bosom Buddies. So once you hit that line, that's the bar we've set. I like it.
He's been a gangster in Road to Perdition, and you know, like whoever thought that Tom Hanks could play a gangster, you know? And then you see him in that movie, and
he was so in the convincing. Da Vinci Code too. I mean,
he's playing a professor in that, but but playing an actual gangster, you know, guys who's and he's playing a cleaner type role as well, somebody who like just gets the job done and kills people, and that shows you range. I mean, when I first saw Tom Hanks, he was a comedic actor. He did one of my favorite movies, Bachelor Party. Please tell me you fuckers have seen Bachelor Party.
I've seen it so many times.
Watch Bachelor Party, man. It's proper 80s cringe comedy. It's so good, man. You know, I mean, like this.
Actively avoid 80s cringe comedy.
It's one of those 80s sex comedies. You know, I love it so much. And then he does stuff like Turner and Hooch and all these other films. And you think to yourself, this, Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd, and you think, this is a comedic actor. Then boom, Philadelphia, and after that, he became a dramatic actor ever since. So he's done it all. He's the closest thing you guys have got to a Gary Oldman, in my opinion. Like somebody with like a massive range.
Tom Hanks.
I want to quickly, before we go on to the stuff we've all done and seen, I want to talk about Vox Machina. Have you guys heard of that?
What is that? Is that animated show?
It's an animated show on Amazon Prime.
Okay, I think I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
And it's adult orientated. The funny thing is, the only way I could describe it is that when you watch it, it feels like a kid's cartoon. And then there's swearing, there's gory death scenes, and then there's even sex and nudity in this cartoon. Yeah, and it's on Amazon Prime. And it's the most bizarre thing. But if you've seen Legends of the League of Legends, which was on Netflix, the animation for that is fantastic, but it does feel like an adult orientated cartoon. This here on Amazon Prime feels like a kid's cartoon that reminds you that it's adult orientated. you know, because it's very corny. It tries to be funny and stuff like that. It's got that bizarre kiddishness to it. It feels very much like a World of Warcraft sort of world. There's elves, there's gnomes, and there's princes and dragons and stuff like that. It's really fucking good, by the way. It's really good. I do recommend it. If you want to see something that's just meant for us, you know, as adults, we still love our animation. And this is definitely something I do recommend. Do not let your kids watch this. You know, just make sure they're nowhere near the screens when you're watching this, because like from the very first episode, you've got a gnome who's using enchantment songs to fuck a girl. You know what I mean? And this gnome wants to fuck everything. You know, he's happy fucking men, he's happy fucking women, he's happy fucking any species, elf, human, you know, dwarf, whatever. You know, he's all good fucking everything. You know, and the way people die in this as well, like the goriness, you know, it's pretty cool seeing it in animated form. It's you know, and they swear all the time. They're saying they're dropping the F bomb. I think they even said the C word a few times. You know, it's definitely, well, there's Bruce Willis in drag. Fair enough.
There is Bruce Willis in drag. He said, "Google it, you'll laugh your ass off," and he was correct. Thank you, JD, for introducing me to this.
But as I said, if you have Amazon Prime, whilst Bobby cuts me off, if you have Amazon Prime, please watch Vox Machina. It's a good show. I will be doing a review for that for NerdTube over the weekend. It's going to be really difficult to talk about because there's like 12 episodes, and the episode about maybe 25 to 30 minutes long. But definitely worth watching. Yeah.
Here you guys go.
Here's a man, by the way. As we're talking about Bruce Willis, why is he doing so many shit movies?
Because it's a paycheck. He's
a pay.
Why not? I mean, he's Bruce. Well, he can afford to do it. I mean,
look, he's not Nicolas Cage at this moment in time, who's having to pay off his taxes. I mean, this guy has got a bit of a reputation. So is Nicolas Cage, but we understand his situation. But I thought he had a bit of a reputation. Now he's doing all these fucking, I wouldn't even call them bottom of bargain basement DVD stuff. I mean, these are real shit fucking movies, and he's just churning them out constantly. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's done Die Hard. This guy's done The Sixth Sense. He's done Fifth Element. He's done some of my favorite movies. What the fuck are you doing, Bruce? You know, really, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, I'm shocked by some of the stuff he's coming out with. There's actually a YouTube video about all his shit movies he's doing. It had me in hysterics, but it also had me a little bit sad at the same time. Yeah, but that's how it is, I guess.
Yeah, JD says he's pissed. JD says he's pissed off too many directors, and that's absolutely true. I know Kevin Smith's one of them. I mean, he won't. That was the first time I ever heard about that, and then I looked into it, and he's absolutely right. People hate fucking working with the dude.
Really?
I mean,
I didn't know that.
He's egotistical.
Yeah, well,
he's hard. He is hard to work with.
Yeah, I know somebody. I know, like when he did this one movie, where he only did like 50. He's only on the screen for 15 minutes. Yet they headline him as one of the main stars of the film, and he apparently got like $1 million for 3 days' work or some shit like that. It was absolutely fucking bizarre.
Living the dream.
Oh, he's a household name, but his best years are behind him regarding being an action star. I remember him from Moonlighting and stuff like that. Obviously, Die Hard. Oh God, what's happened to him? It's so sad.
Yep, he's hard to work with, like Die Hard.
I've heard a lot of actors are like that. What's his name? Not Edward Furlong.
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
Yeah, I mean, he basically burned his bridges with the MCU just because he was being a prick on the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him in the. But he's a fantastic actor. Have you guys seen American History X?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have? I'm shocked.
I think.
Yeah, he's nuts in that one, man. That's good.
Oh, I
That's
love
a good
that film.
Yeah.
Is it because Benjamin Sisko's in it? Is that why you watched it?
Oh, maybe I haven't seen it. If Benjamin Sisko, I don't think I've ever seen anything Benjamin Sisko has been in besides Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
He plays like some sort of Harvard professor or something like that, who tries to get through to Edward Norton's character as a who's a white supremacist, and it's also got Edward Furlong in it as well, who John Connor from Terminator 2. And it's a really good movie. It's fucking brilliant film.
I actually prefer like, don't get me wrong, I like Mark Ruffalo, but I prefer Edward Norton as Bruce Banner than to Mark.
So
Ruffalo.
do I. Yeah. I do too.
I think he looks and feels the part a lot better.
Yeah. He has that vibe. Yeah. I've never I've never really cared for Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. I like him as an actor. I think he's just fine, but I've never cared. Cared for him as Bruce.
I don't care. Like, they could put him in another role, like, or something like that. But I mean, he's just not what I wanted for Bruce Banner. You know what I mean? Like, I like Edward Norton.
I like the portrayal of Bruce Banner from Mark Ruffalo, because he's sort of like a socially awkward, bit of a nerdy, geeky guy. I like that because someone like Hulk is a total opposite of that. And then when we saw Professor Hulk, we saw a very confident Bruce Banner to a degree. So I was happy what Mark Ruffalo brought to the table, but at the same time, I would love to have seen what Edward Norton would have been like if he stayed with the MCU.
Well, but also people are talking about he might be in. I mean, everyone's talking about the multiversal Illuminati, and it's like from Doctor Strange, and it's like, they're talking about Edward Norton's Hulk being, like, Edward Norton's Bruce Banner being in there. Tom Cruise's Iron Man, like all these different like versions of Avengers that we know. You know what I mean?
So theoretically, is Edward Norton's Hulk now originally a multiverse movie? Because that's how they're going to have to play it.
I don't know. I think I don't know about that. I mean, technically it could be, but at the same time, it's like they have referenced specific things from that Incredible Hulk movie.
Yep.
In the MCU. I mean, especially.
And they've done it in What If as well. Remember in the What If where Hank Pym's Ant-Man is fucking killing everyone, and they go back. And
there was Edward, or it was Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, at the college
with Betty Ross, and all that. So there's
new Multiverse stuff going on. Norton may appear in the alternate version. That's what I'm saying. Like but I mean, like right now with the whole multiverse, I mean, they're throwing every name out there. I've even heard Denzel Washington is like T'Challa, like an older version of T'Challa, like from the multiverse. Like I've heard.
Washington.
I mean, they're throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Yeah, but these cameos, like, when you're going to do all of that, we're going to have like 30-second roles, because there's no way you can have all these actors having prominent parts in a movie like that. They'll be look at that, look who's there, look at them. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, but look at Spider-Man: No Way Home. I mean, if in all actuality, I mean, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were in that movie for 30 minutes? Like, I mean, they were in it enough, and they were prominent enough that I got enough of Tobey Maguire from the beginning, but
I agree. But then we're talking about a larger array of characters, and even then, Sandman and Liz has got the short end of the stick. Mm-hmm. It's still very difficult to assemble all these different characters and have them play prominent roles. I think this time around, they will be fleeting cameos. I'm sure if you saw the trailer and the rumors are Patrick Stewart being in it, I don't think
that's pretty much confirmed at this point.
20 minutes at best. If that, even if that, maybe 10 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's it. He's done.
I'm glad that Stewart is coming back, but at the same time, I'm like, dude's
82.
Like 70s, like
82.
He's 80. God, he's in his 80s. So I'm glad he's doing something, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, can you, like, I almost wanted McAvoy's Professor Xavier. I know it's not as prominent as Stewart's, but I really, really like. I kind of almost prefer. And yes, JD, I would love to see Nicolas Cage's live-action noir Spider-Man.
I want Nicolas Cage to be fucking Ghost Rider. What the fuck are you guys on about? You know what I mean?
He did the voice of noir Spider-Man, and
I know, but he is also Ghost. He's also Ghost Rider.
I know.
So might as well have him as that. So, but even though I don't want him as Ghost Rider anymore, I'd rather just bring in a new actor.
Well, and there's rumors also, as I said, these rumors are everywhere, that Ghost Rider is supposed to be in Multiverse of Madness. Like they're supposed to go to hell or something, and they run into Ghost Rider, or at least like the demon that possesses the Ghost Rider or whatever. I don't know. I mean, there's just a ton of crap that so many rumors with the multiverse. Ezra Miller's Flash is going to show up in the Multiverse of Madness. So
Ezra Miller's Flash from DC.
I'm kidding.
Okay, I was making sure. Should we segue into Peacemaker with that?
I mean, we can, yeah. Well, hold on. Let's go to the comments here really quick. That would be the cat's pajamas, which I don't know.
That is the nice way of saying the dog's bollocks.
Well, I mean, like, what is he referencing? Like
I was talking about Nicolas Cage's noir Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He can be both. JD, but that gets a little convoluted and annoying in my opinion. When you have like it worked for me in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, just because it was like there was enough distance between Brandon Routh's Superman and Brandon Routh's Adam, and it was kind of funny. But like, I don't know. It just, if you get too many of that going on, it gets to be cumbersome.
You know what I want to see, just before we could go into Peacemaker, I want to see Ryan Reynolds' head as the Deadpool from Wolverine movie he's still alive because he's got healing abilities or whatever, just for 30 seconds with the mouth shut and everything.
Oh my God, you're talking about from X-Men Origins Wolverine? Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate your face. I hate your face so bad.
Just a troll on fans.
Oh yeah, definitely. But that's another rumor. Ryan Reynolds Deadpool that character would make so much sense in that movie though, because he's so fucking meta. It's not even funny. Like, I mean, that's his jam right there. Breaking the fourth wall and the multiversal barriers is like child's play for Deadpool.
Exactly.
And with Patrick Stewart also being up there in age, he sounds old. That's why I'm saying
James McAvoy to do it.
That's what I'm saying. I wish they would have. I mean, I know everybody wants Patrick Stewart, and I know that's what he's known for, but it's almost like, can we let? I mean, he died. Like they did the whole spoiler for Logan. He died in Logan. Like, can we just let it? And he said it was going to.
He died in X-Men 3 as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I mean, let's let it die. Like, let's let McAvoy do it, because I like McAvoy's Professor Xavier. Maybe not as more than Patrick Stewart, but I definitely like him as Professor Xavier. And I honest and truly, that's the problem with these two pairs, is like, I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto, but I also love Ian McKellen as Magneto. Like, that's just a perfect pairing of two.
Oh, I love Ian McKellen as Magneto. He's not conflicted like Fassbender is. Fassbender can be quite conflicted at times. I like the fact that Ian McKellen's character had made his decision that he's going to be a ruthless tyrant, and I love that. I fucking love that, and I like seeing Ian McKellen as a bad guy. Just once again shows the range. So yeah.
So we're almost hitting the hour mark. Are we going to talk about Star Trek before we hit that timetable to end?
I just want to quickly
Boom, baby!
I wanted to mention Peacemaker very briefly, if that's okay. Have you seen the final episode yet, Vance?
He said no.
No.
Okay, fine, but I won't spoil it for you, but it's a good show. John Cena, people are surprised that he's a good actor. I mean, he's had opportunities to do acting before the Peacemaker, so he was always going to improve his craft. If you watch the WWE, you know that he's a very talented individual, and he's always learning new things. He's during the course of his time of being a wrestler, he learned how to play the piano. The guy's learned how to fucking speak Chinese. There is so many strings to his bow, and he has made his name for himself as the Peacemaker. And the funny thing is, him and The Rock, I mentioned this earlier, they fought each other twice at WrestleMania. But they could fight each other again, not only in the DCEU because Rock's playing Black Adam and John Cena is Peacemaker, so they could fight each other in that. But both of those guys also happens to be in the Fast and the Furious franchise, so maybe we could see them two in that too in the future. But without going on too much of a tangent, if you guys haven't seen Peacemaker, watch it. It's adult-orientated superhero content. Very funny, very crude, very rude. It's good to see John Cena not doing any of that fruity pebble shit that he's been doing for the last 20 years in the WWE. It's good to see him being the sort of John Cena that we know he can be, and I hope he doesn't get back into the ring because I like seeing him being an actor, and he's a very, very good actor as well. You know, he's more to him than just being a muscle-bound freak. So yeah, more John Cena on our silver screen, please. That's all I have to say about that. Anything you want to say, Bobby, on that?
No, I mean, if you want to see our review of Peacemaker and Star Trek Discovery, check it out on our channel, NerdTube, the epic center for all your nerdy.
Yeah, and I've also done a Peacemaker review as well.
Yeah, Sam did his own individual review. But let's move on to the trekkiness of it all. Star Trek Discovery. I'm thoroughly enjoying this season of Discovery. I know that I think Zam, you had an issue with last week's episode. V-Man, I think you did too, right? Last week's episode.
Yep.
Last week's episode.
Yep.
So what did
you?
Yeah,
with the fucking with the gambling and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of this week's episode? Zam, I kind of already know, but just for people who are watching on no budget, we can kind of explain it.
Who, me?
No, V-Man can go first. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I should have been more clear.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than the gambling one, but I mean that's like saying I'd rather be stabbed than shot.
Man.
I mean I just get to the goddamn point of the fucking season. I'm tired of sitting here watching a lover's quarrel. I did like the shuttlecraft part where they're fucking wiggling away, trying to get away from the shit, and it breaks apart and they beam back. Like, I'm glad because we got those two guys that don't ever have anything to do except for, sir, I pressed the button. Okay, I'm gonna go have my coffee break and never be seen because Michael's too busy fucking crying. I can't wait to go watch something else Star Trek related because they've taken 8 episodes to tell a 2-episode story. It wasn't bad. Like I said, I avidly hated last week. I didn't avidly hate this one. But it is kind of like I got a headache that I took aspirin for, and I can get through my day.
Okay.
So ibuprofen.
Wow. I thought if anybody who would be on board on most things Star Trek, it would be you, and you're the most disappointed out of all 3 of us, in my opinion, which is quite amazing.
The whole thing of like, I'm gonna jump here, 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 man, I'm fucking do something. Because I'm about to jump out of my living room and go fucking in the other room and play some video games. You do something. It's if they had done this in episode 3, I'd be like, man, this is great. But I'm just fucking tired of. I mean, people sit there and complain about my films about, man, they do a lot of talking in these things. That's all these people fucking do. They don't do anything. Discovery's turned into a real Vance film.
Vance has a much higher budget.
But I have a much higher budget. Thank you, Drew. Yes.
I didn't mind this episode. I know where you're coming. I totally know where you're coming from. But I didn't mind this episode too much. I'll let you stop laughing for a sec.
Zam must be heard.
Okay.
So,
no problem.
The whole problem with Paramount is that they're stealing all your stuff, so that's why they're doing all this talking.
Okay, go ahead,
I'm not
Zam.
surprised. I'm not surprised because when it comes to fan content, a lot of corporations and companies steal their stuff. I play a video game called Hearthstone, and people make fan stuff from that. And then the developers of the game Hearthstone are using fan concepts and bringing it out as their own. So I'm not surprised at all. you know, it's probably a good way of getting ideas, in my opinion. So yeah, you know, you should be on the writing staff once, you know, but at the same time, by the way, you know, because your shows are Menard centric, you know, to a degree, Discovery is Burnham centric, you know, and so there are similarities in that particular sense. So, but nevertheless, yeah, I want to see what these fucking aliens look like, you know, these fucking super aliens with a, yeah, I look at the DMA as like a giant lawnmower in space now. That's the only way I can look at it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's just harvest all these fucking minerals, you know, from the stars and the planets and stuff like that. And these aliens as well. If the DMA is their mining craft or whatever, or their lawnmower or however you want to look at it, then these aliens must be so fucking big that, you know, that you wouldn't be able to see them, you know, properly unless you're looking at them from a distance. You know, so
all I'm looking at is all I can imagine now is this big alien pushing around a black hole, circling another black hole, using it as a lawnmower. Like,
well, I mean that's the thing. Like if it ends up being something stupid like last season's, oh, I screamed and it exploded the emotion, like the burn, like it better not be something fucking dumb, you know. Like I really hope it lives up to expectations, because this season,
gonna be God from Star
like,
Trek 5, you know that, right?
I hope so. Like, like visually, it looks great, and that's something I told, I forget who I was talking to, but he had missed some of the episodes of Discovery, but I was telling him, I was like, you know, visually, it looks great, from the ships to the battles, to, you know, the everything about it looks great. The uniforms pop, you know, and especially considering where we were in season 1, where I didn't know who was working what division they were. I didn't know, like, now at least we know what they're doing. You know, we know everyone in black is security. If they're in white, they're medical. If they're blue, they're science. If they're yellow, they're engineering.
Or ops.
Like, I mean, or ops. If they're red, I mean, we know. Whereas season 1, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Like, I don't know.
I hate those blue
so
uniforms.
everything looks. I mean, they, you know, not my favorite. Not my favorite. But it looks great, but there's no substance there. And last season, I enjoyed it. It was a little darker, but I enjoyed it. I was so intrigued, and they just haven't shown us enough of it, you know. Oh, for those that Zam, actually, JD is the one that edited your film that you're in.
Oh, thank you very much, Jack Daniels. It was very much appreciated for editing my voice and making me sound so awesome. I thought the work you did there was superb. Much appreciated.
Well, guys, I gotta head out. I gotta go clock out. So I will see you guys next week. All right, guys?
Yeah, keep on freaking on.
Keep on geeking on, guys.
All right. Well, do we have anything else we need to talk about, or I want
to on these aliens. I think it's going to be one of the hardest payoffs to pull off, because if they make them humanoid looking in the same size of us, then I'm going to be kind of disappointed. You know, one of the things Star Wars done really well was the fact that a lot of the aliens were not humanoid. You know, they're all different shapes and sizes and stuff. I have to admit, some of them recently have been quite humanoid looking, like the Pikes and stuff like that. But nevertheless, I want more of that from Star Trek. I want all these different shapes, different sizes of aliens, not just basically human beings looking like they had a makeup job. And so when it comes to these aliens regarding the DMA, when we do get them, I want to see some variety there. I think it's important that they pull that off.
I mean, I joke about that it's probably God from Star Trek V, but I honestly wouldn't mind there being some kind of like actual like
Space entity.
yeah, space entity that and do I necessarily want it to be God from Star Trek V? No, but maybe a part of that. Maybe that's where that species resides. Maybe that's where that guy resides. That alien resides. Why? I because I mean they do talk about the fact that maybe they made this barrier because they were burned from they were burned from outside influence or something like that. I know they explained it in an episode with their theory on them.
Yes, we do. Yes, we did. And you know what? I am very much looking forward to this Jurassic World movie simply because you can't like the first 5 films are very park centric, and like it needs to evolve. Pun intended. It needs to evolve into something more than just a fucking park. So having the world covered in dinosaurs where human beings and dinosaurs have to live with each other, so to speak, is the way forward, in my opinion. William Wells. And I think that's really where the franchise should be going. But at the same time, I want this episode 6 of Jurassic Park, episode 3 of Jurassic World, to be the final episode, because I'm done. And by the way, that clone girl, I mean, she just fucked the whole world up. Like she should be thrown in behind bars or whatever. I mean, her stupidity is basically maybe ended the human race. The little fucking bitch. Jim Kelly, it's a good theory. Could be good tie into the timeline. You're on mute, Bobby.
Are you referencing Star Trek or are you referencing Jurassic World? I think you're referencing Star Trek where we were talking about the Star Trek V alien, but
or something of a similar entity though, like the DMA itself. I mean, they could do like when you think of God aliens. I mean, in the original series, there were lots of aliens where you just heard them, but you never saw them. They were like just voices in space. You could go down that route to a degree. I wouldn't mind that, but I look at it like this regarding the DMA. Like the Starfleet's kind of concerned that by destroying the DMA, you're going to be starting some intergalactic war with a species that's probably more advanced than everyone else in the universe. So they're kind of worried about that, but at the same time, hope that that these species have any sort of empathy. They'll understand what they're doing is wrong, and hopefully they'll try to figure something else out, and they would come to some sort of communication or something along those lines.
Well, I kind of hope it's like Galactus, where it's like you're right. They're just like this entity, and they don't care like what they do because the other races are beneath them, and like that's kind of like Galactus.
Yeah, like ants.
Yeah, ants beneath a boot, or ants have no quarrel with a boot. But yeah, like that's kind of what I want to see is just this alien entity that's kind of beyond, And as I said, they could actually make the Star Trek V like God alien person a thing. Like I honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I kind of hope it is, because
I'm not sure. Like I mean, like that alien seemed to be very clueless about the fucking world outside of that planet.
But because it's locked inside of a bubble in the middle of inside the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, that would be why. So
that alien also seemed to like be like the Michael Myers of fucking space aliens. It looked like it wanted to like take over everything and kill everything, and seemed to be very bitchy as well when he got questioned, by Kirk. I understand regarding like the sort of form and entity, but I wouldn't want it to be that particular species, if you know what I mean. But yeah, fair enough. So. Okay, I think we pretty much. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot. Later on today and tomorrow for you motherfuckers in the States, it's WWE Royal Rumble live from Saudi Arabia.
No, it's
You
not
know?
Royal Rumble.
No, sorry, Elimination Chamber. At 12
You call Discovery Voyager yesterday. Now
Yeah,
you're calling
yeah.
Elimination Chamber Royal Rumble.
Now
Zam,
look,
we're gonna have to start writing these things down for you. We're gonna give you cue cards.
At 12, I'm going to give you guys, because if you guys are interested in this, there's a couple of websites. I'm going to post it in here. Here's one. It says Royal Rumble, but it's the website more than anything. And here's the other. Because we shouldn't be putting any money in Saudi Arabian pockets, in my opinion. Okay. If you guys are interested in joining us here at NerdTube to do a watch along, and most of the gang of NerdTube is going to be here tomorrow. It'll be 12 p.m. Eastern time in America, 9 a.m. Pacific, I believe, in America. It will be 5 p.m. UK time. It's a pay-per-view event happening in Saudi Arabia, WWE in Saudi Arabia. And when it comes to WWE pay-per-views, they happen in America, so they're always 5 hours ahead of us, which is like 1 o'clock in the morning for us. So it's going to be a reasonable time for us here in the UK to watch the pay-per-view. But as we all know what Saudi Arabia is about, the most interesting matches to watch are the women's matches, because it's not about what's happening in the ring. It's by watching the people outside the ring, the audience, and seeing how they react to that shit. You know what I mean? Infidel, la 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 la. I can make those jokes. Anyway, nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see. Yes, I can. You know,
I know.
being an ex-Muslim, I kind of got a bit of a leeway, you know, having Muslim parents and so on, and Muslim family members. So yeah, I have that bit of leeway, you know. But nevertheless, we're going to be watching that pay-per-view. We'll be doing a watch-along here on NerdTube. A lot of our wrestling heads in NerdTube, like Jose and Ginger Greek and Bossman, who watch wrestling still, will be there to basically explain all this shenanigans to you. So if you guys want to join us for that, you know the times, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK. Please join us for that. That's tomorrow, Saturday, 19th of February, 2022. Be there, Electric Boogaloo. I think we're pretty much done.
All right. Well, with that all being said, Zam, thank you very much for joining me, and V-Man, who is not here anymore, thank you very much for joining us for the weekly summit. It's a lot of fun. We just kind of get the BS about all the stuff. But yeah, we will. If you guys have liked this, please consider subscribing to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you've never heard of, and No Budget Productions, which is the greatest YouTube channel with no budget. So, with that all being said, we will catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.